In this video, we take a look at the top 10 next-gen games. Pragmata is an upcoming science fiction game, one of the new ambitious games from Capcom that still leave an impression of mystery and full of question marks. At first glance, this game looks similar to Death Stranding, showing the world in a form that we no longer recognize. The game also shows the character of a small child who seems to have an important role. There is no information about the form of gameplay, in-game visuals, or even what kind of story this game will carry. In 2020, Capcom did target a 2022 release for this game. However, through the latest official blog post along with a cute new teaser, this game is confirmed to be pushed back to 2023. The game will be available for the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series and PC platforms, so there are no plans to bring it to last-gen platforms such as the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Will this game be the new Strand-type game, like Death Stranding, or what we have seen so far will be very different from the original game? What is clear is that only time can tell. If you are enjoying this video, please subscribe and share the video. Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora is one of the games we've been waiting for. It's an upcoming open-world action-adventure game set in the world of Avatar by James Cameron. Even though we haven't seen much of the gameplay yet and only released a few screenshots. In this game, you can adventure following a herd of tall blue humans into the epic world of Avatar. You play as a Na'vi and embark on a journey across the western frontier, a never-before-seen part of Pandora. Explore a vibrant and reactive world inhabited by unique creatures and new characters, and push back the formidable RDA forces that threaten it in this new standalone story. But unfortunately, the dream to play it in the near future must run aground. This game itself was originally planned for release before March 31st, 2023. But based on the latest reports, this game is now scheduled for release around April 1st, 2023 to March 31st, 2024. The exact release date has not yet been confirmed, but what is certain is that this game is intended for the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC platforms. Star Wars Jedi Survivor is a sequel to the first game, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. In the trailer, Star Wars Jedi Survivor still tells the life of Cal Kestis after 5 years of the events of Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. The character Cal Kestis becomes one of the remaining Jedi in the galaxy, where the plane he was riding was stranded on a planet. There, he must fight one of the enemies who took Cal Kestis' lightsaber. And of course, BD1 will accompany Cal to unravel the mysteries in this game. Star Wars Jedi Survivor has the same theme as the title of the game, namely survival. Seeing this, you will most likely be made to look for your way so that your character is able to survive whatever the risks. Respawn Entertainment has confirmed that this game will be released in 2023 and can be played on PC, PS5 and Xbox Series. Black Myth: Wukong is an action RPG based on the Chinese novel Journey to the West. Players will play Sun Wukong, also known as the Monkey King. This game released a new gameplay which is now supported by Nvidia. From the combat presented, this game looks promising by showing a game with battle gameplay similar to Dark Souls when facing a massive boss. But it must be admitted, the visual of this video looked different from the previous videos. More blurry with details that are no longer as crazy as the previous video. This looks like a more rational visual for a video game that will become a product later. The developer still hasn't given any official release date regarding Black Myth: Wukong or talk about how far the development process has gone. Kill the Justice League is an upcoming action-adventure game developed by Rocksteady Studios. The game features 4 main characters. They are Harley Quinn, Captain Boomerang, Deadshot, and King Shark. Interestingly, Kill the Justice League is apparently still canon with the Batman Arkham game that Rocksteady made earlier. The fight takes place when the supervillain Brainiac invades Earth and brainwashes everyone, including the members of the Justice League. Because of that, the Suicide Squad came to fight the superheroes of the Justice League and stop the evil from Brainiac. Kill the Justice League offers solo and multiplayer game modes that can even reach up to 4 players at once. When played solo, players can switch between characters at will, while other characters are controlled by AI. The game was originally announced to be released in 2022, but according to a recent report from Bloomberg, the game release has now been pushed back to 2023. Starfield. The creators of Fallout and the Elder Scrolls bring an ambitious open-world RPG adventure to their newest game called Starfield. Starfield has just released the first gameplay trailer. Here, an open-world adventure is offered in the form of a galaxy of stars that claims to have more than 1,000 planets to explore. Starfield tells the adventures of players as a group of space explorers who are looking for a collection of artifacts and is believed to be able to answer a mystery of human civilization. Here, players don't just explore planets and collect resources. Players can build their own plane, control it to fill the crew in it. Players can also build outposts that will cultivate resource exploration on a planet. Of course, there is a crew that must be hired. Starfield was slated for release on November 11, 2022, but the latest news says the schedule has been shifted to early 2023. Dead Space is a remake of the classic sci-fi horror survival game completely rebuilt from scratch. Dead Space Remake is expected to still carry third-person shooter and the sensation of survival horror. Dead Space game was first developed by Visceral Games and released in 2008. Players can control an engineer named Isaac Clarke, a technician who is forced to survive by battling alien creatures called necromorphs, while uncovering the mystery behind the massacre of the crew of the mining ship USG Ishimura. There is a new system that will be added in this game. The system, according to the developer, will include all components of Isaac's breathing and heart rate, vocal history, and dialogue affected by various running gameplay features. A remake of Dead Space will be available for the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, and PC platforms. The sequel to Breath of the Wild was first announced in 2019, followed by gameplay footage at the E3 2021 event. Nintendo itself is still keeping information about the Breath of the Wild sequel, including the original title. This game is still referred today as the sequel to The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. This time, the adventures in the sequel to Breath of the Wild will not only take place on land, but also in the sky. Players can now see how Hyrule's sky looks like, as well as Link's new abilities and weapons. There is an ability from Link that can penetrate objects or land in front of him, ability to visit floating islands. This sequel to The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild will now be released in the spring of 2023, with no definite date, exclusively for the Nintendo Switch. No matter when it releases, I am so confident it will be worth the wait. Stalker II. It took a very long time for Stalker to come back to life. And 13 years after the last game was released, the game made by GSC Game World, Stalker 2 seems to have to go back to next year. In the past, Stalker considered as the best survival horror game you play. In 2007, this game has many players. Stalker 2 is an upcoming first-person shooter survival horror game. This game will have fast-paced gameplay with an open-world experience. In addition, Stalker 2 will also present various interesting features and a storyline that changes based on the player's choice. Later, this can have a small or big impact in influencing the storyline going forward. For the setting itself, Stalker 2 is still set in Chernobyl. This game will be released for Xbox Series X and S and PC. Marvel Spider-Man 2 will bring characters from the previous two series, namely Peter Parker and Miles Morales. This time, they will be together against one of the classic villains in the series, who else but Venom. The presence of Venom seems to make the game no longer tell the story of teenage superheroes with all their heroic actions, but a little darker than usual. At least that's what Marvel says. The first teaser also shows some of the new abilities and costumes they use. There is bad news for those of you who want to play Spider-Man 2 in co-op mode with friends. Because despite having two main characters, Insomniac Games has confirmed that this game will only focus on the single-player storyline and will not having a multiplayer co-op mode. Marvel Spider-Man 2 will be released in 2023 exclusively for the PlayStation 5. In which games are you really interested? Please put your thoughts in the comments down below and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, see you in the next video. Goodbye.